Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today's Thursday. It is May 21st, and it's time for Let's Talk Power Live. I'm Dr. Tangi, so excited to invite you here, to welcome you here. Glad that we have another opportunity to talk about power and education in real and operational ways. So today's Thursday. You know, we always start with a welcome and a thank you. I want to thank all of you who are subscribers to the show. We could not be doing this week in and week out without you coming and being here with us. So thank you for being a subscriber. If you are part of the 85% of our viewers who come and hang out with us every week, but you're dating. We're still dating. And I'm hoping that you have decided that, yes, you want to make sure that we are part of your regular routine of listening. So please go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button, and leave us a comment. Let us know why you decided to be a part of Let's Talk Power Live. We welcome you. We know the game of algorithms and what it all means and how to do it all. So we are growing our channel, and we are inviting you to be part of the family. The other thing is, Let's Talk Power Live turns 2 this year, and we are looking to get to 200 subscribers this year to make sure that we are celebrating in big fashion. So go ahead, find 2 people and invite them to join you to be a subscriber and get us to our goal of 200 subscribers by we're already 2. So just help us get to our 200 subscribers this year. And so let's talk about what we're going to deal with today. We're going to be talking about curriculum, but we're going to be talking about it in a different kind of way. We often talk about curriculum as a thought in lives, right? But we want to make sure that the curriculum that we talk about is done in a way that positions it more than just about the materials that kids get. And we often talk about curriculum about teachers having all of the autonomy. And tonight, we're going to challenge that idea and talk about curriculum before it gets to the educator, because that's where the big conversation happens. But as we do every week, we know that power in education is real, and instructional power is even more real. And so what do I do every week? I'm going to give you our 2 biggest definitions. So let's talk about those definitions right now. We know that power in education is real. And here is the definition I share with you every single week. Education is the instrument of democratic designs, and it is no less the instrument of power, the control of information, the shaping of understanding, and the influence of judgment are critical elements common to democratic design, power theory, and educational philosophy. And we have that conversation every week because this conversation about power and education has been going on for centuries. But what we do here at Let's Talk Power Live is we take the big conversation that's happening in the world and we bring it down to, quote unquote, the street level where we can operationalize it. Because we want to have a conversation about power in real ways that really help us understand its impact and the influence on the lives of educators. And so when we talk about educators, number one, I want to be clear who they are. Any adult whose decisions impact what a child experiences from the material and the instructional and the environmental level. How they get to school, what happens when they get to school, their access to materials, all of those elements. So let's talk again about what instructional power is all about. So understanding your instructional power can be understood as an educator's use of their state, district, and job ascribed authority to afford or constrain a student's access to learning. What does that mean? That means the decisions that you make as an educator at any level gives you the opportunity to use your filter of power to either open up a door for educational access or close that door. That's what instructional power is all about. Now, last week, I think I introduced our new article series that's out, and I want to introduce it back to you again. And it is our messy middle. For my middle school educators out there, we know middle school is a messy place. It is marvelously messy in the middle. And I'm inviting you as a middle school educator to join me in a discovery and a deepening of your understanding of the middle school landscape with our Messy Middle Development Centered Learning Series. 3 articles all about middle school. There's a QR code, there's a link. Article 1 is already out. Article 2 is coming up this week. So go ahead and get connected to our Messy Middle learning opportunity. Well, this week, I am thrilled to bring to Let's Talk Power Live a dear colleague. Met this colleague years ago. We were at a conference. He was talking about math. I was talking about ELA, and something in our collective conversation about literacy and math and about educational justice let me know that I wanted to have him join us this week. So this week, I'm bringing to the stage Dr. Chris Childs. He's the CAO of Open Up Resources. He runs a piece of his own organization. And I am thrilled to let you know that he actually has a new book out. It's called Chris Teaches Math. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Chris Childs to Let's Talk Power Live. Dr. Chris, thank you for being here. I'm so excited for our conversation tonight.
I'm super excited. Thank you for allowing me to be on this show. I've been watching you do some amazing things in education. And when you first launched this show, I was like, pick me one day. And I'm excited to be on here with you and talk all things education.
All right. Well, for folks, tell us what you do, because a lot of people know, they've seen you. I've watched you. I know who you are. But for the folks who don't know Dr. Chris Childs, let us know who you are, what you do, and why power in education matters to you.
I feel like I should have a hat and switch hats because I wear so many hats in the field. At a high level, by day, I'm the Chief Academic Officer at Open Up Resources. Under my purview follows all of our math curriculums, our English language arts curriculums, and our professional learning curriculums. We'll talk about that as we go throughout the show. By night, on my other time, I'm also the founder of the Mathematics Group. And through the Mathematics Group, you also find K-Child Solutions. And that is where I do all things mathematics education, whether it's keynote speaking, whether it's consulting, whether it's writing books, even books behind me, doing all the things. I got a really cool new software tool that I'm launching we'll talk about. And then my other hats, anything that ensures teachers have what they need, children have what they need to ensure we are putting out and collaborating on making sure everyone gets a high quality educational experience.
That's right.
That is my third hat, the one I wear everywhere I go, because at the end of the day, as adults, if we're not supporting teachers, if children are not learning to read, children are not learning to be proficient in math, what are we really here to do?
What are we doing? I mean, I was supporting in a school in Massachusetts, and we came to this idea and we said, education is the only place where if you don't do your best job, you get to keep your job. My husband was a banker for decades. And I tell people, I love my husband. I wouldn't work a day in my life for that man, because let me tell you what, you were going to perform. And for some reason in education, the push for performance seems to be anathema to people. Like, we keep saying, well, you can't push them to perform, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But it's a place where the people we say we care the most about, they actually get the least amount of attention.
But in some way. But again, this is your show. I'm ready. I'm trying to sit back as you set the stage. But at the end of the day, as we have this conversation, an undereducated population is a controllable population.
There it is, in and of itself. And we have been walking this line of give out information in a very controlled manner so that we can control and determine who gets what.
Right.
And how we disseminate it all.
Not only determine who gets what, but giving people access to information that can elevate their lives, change their communities, and at its basic level, provide for their families. And that's why I'm in this work. My goal is to disrupt all of that, because if everybody gets a high quality educational experience, it not only changes a child's life, it changes a family's life, it changes their community, and it changes this whole ecosystem that we're working in. And
absolutely,
we have the tools depending upon we listen to this show. Right now, we're in 2026. We have the most tools at our disposal to give children what they need. And as adults, we have to stop making excuses for not giving them what they need.
We have to stop making those excuses because we keep there are certain things in our purview of control, right? And we have to know what's in our control to do. The things that are not in our control to do, we have to somehow stop making them the reason why kids don't get a great education. I want to share some data with you that you already know, but I'm going to share it anyway so we can talk about it. Here's a data story. 57% of Black students attend a high school that offers the full range of college prep sequence in math and science, compared to 71% of white students and 81% of Asian American students. So only 57%. And you and I know that not having the full sequence of a math and science college prep offering is one of the ways in which we constrain access. So if people don't know what might a full sequence of math and science look like that would be considered college prep?
But before we go to college prep, I love that data side that you brought up. Going back to the time that we're in, we have access to technology. We need to get beyond, and I call it admiring the data, because we see this all the time. We look back and say, "Oh my God, oh my," it hits home, and we literally leave and we don't do anything about it.
That's right.
So before we even get to what is it, the sequence, let's get at, all right, I know this group, and we're going to look at Black identifying children, 57%, they don't have it. What are we doing outside in our communities? What are we doing through virtual environments to give them what they need? Because there's no excuse when they leave that building, and I know they haven't gotten access. If it's calculus, I don't provide them a calculus experience in my community. There's no excuse if they don't have access to data science, they don't get that experience, or financial literacy. Then we still need to put pressure on the school system. Yes, we still need to correct those things. But why am I continually go out of breath, blue in the face, and that's not happening when literally I can say on the weekends or once a quarter, we're going to pull these children aside, give them the tools that they need, whether it's formally or informally, to be successful. So that's where I'm at right now in my career. Now, we can get to the quote unquote, what is the track? The track is dependent upon what state you're in, that's the track. But we again have to not say the school and hasn't provided. And again, I'm not letting them off the hook. But also, if the school doesn't give them what they need, if I'm a guidance counselor in school, I know my school isn't doing it. When I leave school, I can literally hand out to the children, hey, here's a flyer. Here are the college level courses you need. Let's talk about it. Again, going back to your earlier piece, I tell groups all the time, there are things you can't control whatsoever. You may not ever control your salary. Stop talking about it. Why? There's things you can influence. Spend a little bit of time and influence it. But at the end of the day, if you're not controlling what you can control and using your power, I like how let's talk power a lot. If you're not using your power, we can't have a conversation. Because we cannot. Close that classroom door, you have power. Take advantage of it. If you're in a leadership position and you get to hypothetically pick the curriculum, you have power. Are you using it? If you're superintendent, but you got power. The question is to all these educators out here, why aren't you using the power with the limited time that you have, as opposed to woulda, coulda, shoulda? You all have power to do the thing, and the question is why you're not doing it.
That is the question. Because I tell people, and you see me do it, we've talked about this, we all have a power lens. We've learned about power somewhere, and we have a concept about adults and kids. Right? Adults and kids. We have an idea about it. But when we come into a building, into a classroom, you heard this said, I become the parent I had. Okay. Well, guess what? I also become the teacher I had too. Right? I live in that space. And so I love the point of, you may not be able to give your kids, the students in your building, based upon the available resources inside the confines of that four walls building, whatever, right? The four walls concept. Right. But like you said, there are communities. We live in the information age. So since we live in the information age, why do we still, like you said, navel gaze?
But here's the problem. We do that because we assume school is a building.
That's it.
Now, I don't know your audience, but I'm gonna go there with the
No,
in the
listen,
Bible.
but you know me, so
I know you. So
you know me, so we're gonna go.
in the Bible, if you subscribe to that, if you subscribe to Christianity, it talks about the church, and
Right.
the church is not that building,
It's
right?
not.
It's not.
Right.
So the same thing, the school is not a building. We have to get that out of our heads. Is it a facility where you can go do some learning? Yes. But the school is everything around us. Right now, again, depending upon when we listen to this episode, which was the end of the school year, the summer
Right.
is coming up. They're not going to be in that school,
They're
but
not.
they're going to get school. How are they going to get school? If they're home, they're going to get school. If they're the grandparents, they're going to get school. If they're walking around the community having fun, they're getting school. So get out of the thing of school is in a box. School is that building. They only get 180 days, some places 196. School is an all-encompassing experience. What are we doing to collaborate? Hey, you give them that experience in the formal school, cool. Here are the things I can do in my family, in my community. And when I say family, not just your household, I didn't say house, because guess what? If I don't know how to do blank, I have a friend or a cousin who can. With family, we're going to work together. If I can, my jam is math, ELA, I got you. If I got a cousin who can do science, I got an uncle who can work on cars, I got another friend who can program. So guess what? Through that family lens, I'm giving them an all-encompassing experience. And getting out of habit, they got to go to a building to get school.
But see, let's
Go.
park
Let's,
here and go
let's
further. Let's just do it. So what you just said was that school isn't a building, because wherever they go, they're going to be schooled.
That's school.
They're going to be schooled. But the more you say that, that's a disruptive statement, because that takes the power dynamic out of a controlled environment and disperses it to the people who are in a community. And we talk about the language of cultural responsiveness and cultural responsibility. When we talk about school, not within the confines of four walls, conceptually four walls, then that means those who we've given the power and authority to disseminate information to children, means that we've now taken that back and we've done something disruptive with that group of people. And that is something that is disruptive. That is something that challenges status quo belief about schooling versus education, right? Because we know that the schooling process in the United States is set up. Well, first of all, what we call schooling in America is a thing that it should be named something different. But we know that the reason why we even have free public schooling right now is because of Robert Smalls and what he did back before Reconstruction was ended, right? He made it possible. But the mechanism for schooling in its original inception was all about delivering freedom to people who didn't have it, right? And disrupting a pattern of illegal instruction, because it was illegal to teach them. So now they could teach them. But then it got changed into what we have now, this system of adults telling kids how to be and how to do and what to learn. Because schooling now is society's pressure cooker, and it is society's shaper. It is creating the citizen that it wants. And it does that through a curriculum. And one of the things that you talked about in our correspondence back and forth, you brought up this statement. You said, I want to talk about curriculum as a gatekeeper. And so, when you look at all the data that we get, you are, your actual, like you said, in your day job is shaping curriculum. And one of your pieces is that curriculum itself is a gatekeeper. Talk about that.
Really quick. Because
Yeah.
you hitting points. I'm catching you as you go. We're gonna go. We're not disrupting anything. What we're gonna do is start doing the right thing. We're not disrupting the system.
Yes.
We're just making the system like it was supposed to be. So
like
we're
it was
just doing
supposed
the right
to be.
But
yes.
Back to this curriculum as a gatekeeper. We have to understand when we have a curriculum, and I have full disclosure, I publish a curriculum through my role.
Exactly.
I actually sign off on what goes and what does not go in the curriculum. So I have pretty good experience pre-K through high school in curriculums, in addition to I've taught post and secondary and have opportunities to engage in curriculum development. So just to give the audience some background, like
right, of who you are, exactly, and what exactly.
But here's the thing with curriculum: every curricular decision and everything in the book is intentional. The things you love, they were intentionally put in the book. The things you don't like were intentionally put in the book by some decision maker at some point. The question that I challenge my peers and I challenge myself every single time when a child opens that book, and now I'm focused on kindergarten through high school, what am I trying to get them to engage in or understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've made intentional decisions from the authorship page, do the children even see themselves represented, to the last page of now that they've closed this book, what knowledge have they gotten? Now, as a gatekeeper, what we have to understand is, and great educators know this, the book is a tool. The curriculum is a tool. It's going to help you. Now, this is not the time to throw it away. It is going to help you. It's going to give you a solid foundation that you can build upon and use. We have to all get out of the thing of, I just do my own thing. I'm gonna be honest. Unless you're an expert curriculum writer, understanding progressions, et cetera, doing your own thing, you're hindering the children.
Oh my God, Chris,
go ahead.
wait.
All right, I pause. I'm trying to stay calm.
No, I don't want you to stay calm. That's why you're here. I am so glad that you said this idea of people want to do their own thing and they misunderstand autonomy. They misunderstand it because if everyone out there is doing their own thing, we have the Wild Wild West. Oh, yeah. And if you've ever watched a Western, lots of folks die.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't want that.
So here's the thing. And I want all of us to challenge. Let's just say, I just want you to hear me for 1 minute.
Yes.
Let's say you want to do your own thing. Let's say you anti-curriculum for curriculum. I want you to, it's a simple question. I'm based in Florida. There are children, I'm going to use Oregon for my example. I have a fundamental belief. If you're a fourth grader, that's my grade level for the day. If you're a fourth grader in Florida, you should learn the same information as a fourth grader in Oregon. Now, can you learn a little bit more? Will the experience be a little different? Yes. But if we are a united country, families move all the time, and a fourth grader doesn't choose that. At the very least, we should be able to agree upon what are these children learning and some proven methods. All of this, I got to do it my way because I'm a different state, to do it my way. It's a fourth grade child. There's some basics we need to agree upon. A curriculum gives us a base. Standards across the country, Common Core gave us a base. But this notion of 50 states, 50 standards, for what? Zip codes already determine the quality based upon the data that was just shown. We let zip codes determine the quality of education. Now we're at a point of we cross an artificial boundary that somebody made over time. And now that I'm going 100 miles north, or if I'm going out west 1,800 miles or wherever, I've crossed the artificial boundary. Now my child doesn't get the same thing.
Absolutely right.
I'm still a fourth grader.
I'm still a fourth grader, and I still live in a country.
Wait, no. One nation, you don't live in a country. You live in a United States.
A United States country. Right. You live in a United States country. It's supposed to be united under a common understanding of itself, what it stands for. Right. So you're right. Right. And this idea, and I love this idea of, we have to get past the gatekeeping of, well, I'm this state or that state. You know how many districts there are in this country? Like 13,000.
But that's again.
Imagine
about public,
private, charter,
parochial, and you think now with the virtual space, we're over 18,000.
And it's going to be happening soon. All of these micro schools are going to start. They're gonna do the thing that has to happen all the time. They're going to have to coagulate and come together. But they're going to have another district formulation going on.
And again, for the sake of time, I'm not going to argue what type of school you want.
We got time.
But at the end of the day, are you committed as an adult to every child learning to read, every child learning to do math, every child science? Are you committed at that grade 4 child? That's what you got to ask yourself no matter what you're doing. Because if the data is 57% that we were showing earlier, that's not going to cut it. Right now, nationally, the literacy rate is about, according to Nate, fourth grade, about 30%. Math 30%. Is about 35, 38%. So 30%. I don't care what you're doing. Now, some people are saying, well, what does that mean? You may say, all right, 30%, I'm going to do a little math. That's 3 and 10. So if you look at 10 children, 3 of them are proficient in reading. Why does that matter? What if your child is in the 7th?
Right.
The child you care about is in the 7th.
In the 7th, that's right. Right.
So that's what we got to have that conversation. I'm not worried, Dr. Childs. My child is in the 3, but it does not matter if your child is in the 3, if we got 7 that cannot read, because what we're asking to do with the educational system, in this educational system, we're asking to make sure every child has a fundamental right to some basic necessities to be successful in life. I'm not telling them they got to go be an astronaut. I'm not telling them to be a physicist. I want to make sure every child has the basic foundational pillars they need to be successful and really give back to the society. That's all we're asking for.
And here's the thing. That's what every parent wants. Every parent wants to know. When I tell them, people all the time, parents are sending you their children for two main reasons. They want them to learn stuff, and they want them to learn how to do stuff.
Right.
More of it than when they got there.
Right.
Not less of it, more of it, because when they got to you, they knew some stuff and they knew how to do stuff. The parents want them to learn how to do more of that. So the question is, why are we still okay with this only 57% of African-American children attending schools with the full range of a science and a math sequence?
The reason we're okay with it, because again, as I stated earlier, that's not my child.
Not my child.
But when we come through an African-centered mindset that we're literally, I don't know if people know this is listening, at some point, we all gonna have an expiration date and be out of here.
Period. Full stop.
And when you understand that,
Period,
you start to think differently, that we all we're literally on this ball, this planet, this sphere together. We have the ability to work together and not look at that as those kids versus my children, but look at it. All children, we're in this. We can do better. We must do better, or you're going to take that last breath and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
That's right. That's right. I mean, and there's no getting around the responsibility element, right? I was working with a district, again, the same district, and we were talking about coherence, and we're talking about internalization, right? It's a big conversation. Again, you know this, right? And there's a big conversation around coherence and the need for internalization, because while we believe that educators have autonomy with their curriculum, the autonomy is based upon a closed system, right? It's within a system of guides, assessment dates, benchmarks, and the packaging, like you said, in your day job, that's what you do, right? So people have autonomy within a block, in a box. But they were talking about, their particular curriculum doesn't give them enough teacher support, right? It comes with assumptions that their educators have some knowledge that they kind of don't have. And
I don't know where you're going, but I know I want to go with this. Keep going though. I like this. I know I would keep going, but I don't mean, but I want to.
I love it. No.
So go. Yeah, I want to go.
So they were talking about internalization, and they kept saying, well, these kids are falling behind and they keep falling behind. I said, please, can you hear yourself talk? You are talking about kids falling behind, but that's not their fault. They come to you with the expectation that they're going to learn. And your other topic was this illusion of choice, right? This conversation of who's falling behind and the illusion of choice. So go ahead and take us there, because you were itching to take us there.
No, because you brought up a good point, and you said, and which is valid for most curriculums. Teachers are looking at it and they're saying, I need more blank. I need more supports. Have you reached out to your curriculum provider, not only to provide the feedback, but to say, we're going to continue with your curriculum, but we need to partner together. Here's some things we need to think through and collaborate on. Two things are going to happen. One, the publisher may even enlighten you, like, oh, here's some things that are in the curriculum you may have missed. And you're going to say, I didn't know that support was there. Thank you for taking time. Or a good publisher is going to say, you know what? We dropped the ball on that one. We're going to use that for iteration of feedback. But the problem, a lot of people are afraid to talk to the publisher. When you spent, I used to say millions, even if you spent $10,000 on a curriculum, you are entitled to a relationship. It's like a lot of y'all buy stuff from Amazon and return stuff every single day and don't
every day. I'm about to on Saturday. Right. I'm about to on Saturday.
And most of the stuff you return it costs them more to ship to you than to return to it.
Absolutely.
So we have districts out here that have spent $10,000, $1 million on curriculum. You need to develop a partnership with that provider. And again, you collaborate. They're not going to do everything you want them to do. That's because they're thinking from a national scale. But what you can do is develop shared understanding. Are we maximizing this curriculum? Is it being used as intended? If not, they need to partner with you to help you do it. But then you need to make a decision. I'm just using the 57%. If I'm
Right.
doing everything you say do and we get 57%, I need a REFUND, or we will not keep partnering with you, or something. You got to do
Period.
that. Because guess what?
Period.
If you act, we change.
That's
And
right.
I can say, and why am I saying this? And I'm
Because of what you do. That's right.
I meet with districts all the time. I do my best to make changes to the curriculum or put it on our roadmap. I listen, I partner, and I stand on what I do. But I know everybody else, they can't do it, and they don't care about districts as much as we care about them and open up, because it's a partnership. It's beyond just, can I say your curriculum? I want to be able to not only provide you a curriculum that we partner in, I want to support your teachers, and I want to make sure your children get what they need out of it. And I stand on that every single day. Anybody watching this, you can reach out to me and say he didn't do it or he did it. But
That's right.
I stand on that because, again, at the beginning of the episode, I told you, what am I doing for teachers? What am I doing for students? Because I know what we can do in the publishing world to make their lives easier and better and support administrators with it.
But why don't we though? Why don't we? Why are we still willing, Dr. Chris, to have curricula, ELA curricula, books on shelves where the animals as a collective group still outpercent the people of color? Now we've gotten better, right? We've gotten better, but why are we still willing to have that
better?
story?
No, I only accept we've gotten better. We made progress. It's not
made progress. That's right. Progress. Why is it okay?
Now I'm speaking to every educational leader, decision maker, based upon your
Period.
control. I'm speaking to you.
That's right.
Are you willing to use your title and use your role to do the right thing? Or are you comfortable? Chris, I'm Dr. Such and such. I'm the chief of blah, 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 blah. I just want to keep my job. But when these children can't read, you need to wake up every day saying, I got to do better. I'm focused on reading and math, you all, because that's the curriculums we publish.
Right.
They cannot read or they cannot do math. You have to use your title and role to do better, and you have the power to do it. So what we got to do, Doc, is stop making these excuses and start using our power to facilitate change on behalf of these children.
And that's the conversation, right? Because one of your other pieces was adoption as equity. Mm-hmm. Adoption of materials as equity, which is an entire. We used to talk about educational equity openly, right? And we, the sea change is, the winds of change have come, and we know, and we knew that these change winds were coming. And if you didn't know, I question why you didn't know. But anywho, we knew they were coming, and so now folks want to say, well, we're doing the work. We just don't want to use the language, right? And I can say, there are times when in my work, I question myself, like, should I be saying this language out loud as vociferously as I did? And if I don't, what does that mean? People are really weighing out this idea of the use of language, curriculum decisions as equity decisions. Those are huge decisions to make.
And with them being equity decisions, putting on my, I'm gonna get into the next episode, hats and literacy.
You're like, we're gonna get you back and get hats, Chris.
Putting on my Open Up hat. If you literally go to www.openupresources.org or openup.org, you click access. You get access immediately. When I say immediately, within 24 hours, to a full ELA curriculum, to a full mathematics curriculum. All we ask for is your name and your email address and a couple other pieces. Why is that important? We provide high quality instructional materials for an email.
Wow.
I didn't ask you for a credit card. I didn't ask you for an email.
Right.
Why is that important? We're in 2026. Every teacher, every child should have access to high quality instructional materials. Open Up Resources provide that. That is the equity piece, because there are places around this country who may not have funding, or they have funding, but the materials that we spoke of earlier don't have the supports. We provide those. Anybody that goes to openupresources.org, you get access to those materials. That is the equity piece. Then go into your other piece, because you typed on it for a little bit. thinking about the times that we're in where we can say the thing or can't say the thing. This is why I'm taking that open up hat. I'm back to
Put another hat on.
a lot of y'all weren't saying the thing when you could fully say the thing. So right now,
Okay,
let's stop
there
acting
it
like we're
is.
going to talk about the thing. So that's number
There it
one.
is.
Number
There it
two
is. Mm-hmm.
is beyond saying a word. I want to see it.
Mm.
I want you to live the
Mm-hmm.
life that you're talking about, and you don't have to say the word. Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
my contemporaries in the field were saying it and boldly getting books and doing all this stuff. And I know for a fact, because I know them, they weren't doing any of the work. But I don't have to say the word, and I can show you the work and show you the receipts.
The receipts for the
We
work,
doing what we
right?
got to do.
That's right. And that is the thing. Can we get to and it comes down to this, Chris, and you know this as well as I do. Do we really care about every kid? We
No,
say we do.
no,
We don't. We do not. We
no.
really do not care about every kid in this country.
Mm-mm.
And it is as much about race as it is economics and it is about language,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't care about the kid living in the rural South with limited broadband,
No.
right? We don't care about the kid who is learning the English language, right? We don't really care enough about the children in this country to do for them what we keep saying we want to do. We love kids, we want this for, but our dollars, the way we fund schools shows that we don't care. The way we execute on our discipline policies say that we don't care. The way we staff schools says that we don't care. The fact that we can't get counselors, not just academic counselors, but like psychologists, and we can't get them to the kids who need them. We don't have the level of care for the children we say we do.
But
And that's a power move. That's a power.
here's
That's
the
a
thing.
power at work.
A lot of times in education, we look at it. I'm using like a jigsaw puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a jigsaw puzzle, you threw every piece on the table. We look at what we have to solve is that jigsaw puzzle. This is a lot. I got a lot of pieces to put together. I don't know if I have time. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
We have to stop trying to look at what we're trying to do as a jigsaw puzzle. What
Mm.
we have to start looking at what I'm trying to do is a domino impact of what I'm trying to do. If you
Yeah.
line up some dominoes, if you knock
Mm.
down one, you can knock down another. Then you can knock down
Right.
a big one. Then you can keep going. But I have to be willing to knock down the first domino. I got to be willing to partner. And as I partner, then I can develop this movement. As I develop this movement, then it's going to get bigger. But we get so hung up on, I got this jigsaw puzzle so much, I don't know what to do. As opposed to, guess what? I got one piece. Let me get my one piece. I'm going to do the best I can with my one piece. Call my colleague in the room. Hey, grab a piece. All right, let's get our pieces together. Then,
Right.
if we're a team of 5, it's 2 of us. The other 3 not doing it. I'm not worried about the other 3. It's
Right. Right.
because what's going to happen is I'm putting this jigsaw puzzle together with me and my colleague. Somebody else is going to see the work happening. Hey, what y'all doing? A jigsaw.
A jigsaw. Right.
The other
Right.
people still not coming.
They're gonna come in. That's right. Right.
They may
That's
never
right.
come. But I'm
That's right.
who I have and what I have to do what we got to do to help these children. And if they come over, great. If they never come over, I'm not the leader. I am not the leader. Say, will you please come over? We really
No, we
I
ain't
got
got time for that.
that want to engage in. I'm pulling them
That's
in,
right.
and I'm gonna get this puzzle built.
That's right.
By piece, I'm gonna knock down these dominoes. But I am focused, and we get too often focused on those naysayers or the ones that don't want to do the work.
That's right.
I got 5 people right here
that are willing to do it. That are ready. They're ready to move. Let's get it done. That's
my
huge.
fraternity, the greatest fraternity on earth. Oh my
Oh
God!
well, you already know.
We talk about this
We are
thing
so
called the
connected.
8
We are
versus
so
the 80.
connected.
All I need is 8. All I need is the 8.
Period. That's it. You know.
Oh,
And that right there is what power in education is about.
Mm-hmm.
Is about the people in front of you willing to use their resources on behalf of the kids they say they care about.
Keyword: the kids you say you care about. And what I do is every time I challenge audiences as I work with them, I make them think about the child you care about the most. And imagine in your environment, can they go anywhere in your environment, be seen, be heard, and be valued? And people are like, no, they can't. So why
Why?
should someone else's child have that same experience?
Right.
We got to hold each other accountable. And to the very beginning, I know you mentioned husband, the banking industry. We keep talking about, well, they don't fire teachers in my school. We can still hold each other accountable within our
Accountable.
power.
We
We should.
can.
I'm,
We
I'm, gonna put, I'm
can.
gonna put some on the table, and I want people to light me up in the comments and send me an email. We should make, as communities, as educators, when we know a teacher is doing wrong by children. I'm not saying not trying. There are teachers that are
Right.
trying, but
Right.
we know there are some teachers, and I can come to your environment. You can name
Oh yeah.
5. They
Oh,
should never be
please.
in front of kids.
100%.
We need to make it uncomfortable where they self-select another
To go
career. They can
somewhere. Yeah.
drive
To
for
help
Uber,
out.
they can do it,
Yep.
but we still allow Bob, hey Bob, it's just a name. Don't come try to sue me. We let Bob go teach. No, we want to let Bob teach our dog how to go outside, and we
Period.
just let it go. It's just Bob. We're not. But Bob is instructing children. If he can instruct your child, let's make it uncomfortable with Bob self-select out. We
Right.
have enough people that want to do
Right.
this field.
We do. And if that Bob person or Sue person, right, or Johnny person is in, and you don't want that person teaching your personal biological related person, either it's a child that you gave
Child,
birth to,
somebody you care about.
right? If they cannot teach the person you care about, then they shouldn't be teaching anybody.
And then, folks, we got to get out of this scarcity mindset. No, we don't have
Yes.
enough people as it is. There are a lot
Yeah,
of
you do.
competent educators. And again, you think an educator is someone that went through the formal program. There are a lot of competent people that we can engage in,
That's right.
bring in. We got
That's
to
right.
change the culture and the mindset to bring them into these environments.
That's right.
Because I see so many people when I go places that would be great educators,
That's
but I
right.
guarantee you, no one has said this is a viable career option for you.
That's right. And just as another note on and the way that we use our instructional power, we're one of the few professions that say we want more people into it, but across the airways, what do you see happening? A complete denigration of the profession itself.
Right. But here's the thing.
So,
Let's go to that complete denigration. I'm putting it on as educators. Yes, there's some bad happening in education. I'm the first one. But
literally,
there's so much good
good.
that's happening in
So
these
much
schools
good.
and environments. We let the bad overtake the good, as opposed to saying, hey, we did this today. We did this. We're going to work on this. Now, if your data is we at 10% proficiency, I need you to be quiet and
I
get
need
the
to be quiet.
proficiency up.
I need to be quiet.
But
I need to be
if you're
quiet.
doing good, showcase that you're doing good. But then
That's right.
also how you mentoring and bringing someone else along
That's
to
right.
help them continue good. Because we're in this together. We got to collaborate. And if we collaborate, we can change a lot of things. And we can, and a lot of times we get in these plans, we got a 3 to 5 year plan. We can change a lot of things right now with the technology we have at our disposal overnight.
There are some quick decisions that we can make that would change the trajectory of a child's life almost immediately.
Immediately.
If we decided, it starts with that decision to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every week, I'm going to switch us real quick. Every week we give power moves. I'm going to share some of those power moves and I want to get your take on them. So power move number 1, it says, treat curriculum decisions as power decisions. Examine whether all students consistently experience grade level rigor. Analyze whose identities and ways of thinking are represented and valued. Treat adoption decisions as decisions about access and opportunity. What say you?
Now look, and I'm making notes. But again, for our audience out there, 1, every child must have a grade level experience.
Everyone.
Every year in August, everyone's like, they don't come in with this knowledge. I got to reteach and go back. If you do that, they won't get a grade level experience. And guess what? You're going to hinder their progress. Then when it says identity, every child should see themselves in a curricular experience and see themselves through an authentic lens, not, hey, Bob is over in the wheelchair. Let me talk about his wheelchair. Bob can just be a child having fun, experiencing life. As I stated earlier, every curricular decision, things that go into it, it's an intentional decision. And then to the last one, adoption decisions are decisions about access and opportunity. When you select a curriculum, as I spoke to earlier in the episode, you're selecting a partner. You're not just getting any curriculum. And that curriculum for a lot of children make or break, not their K-12 experience. It makes or break their life experience. Look beyond this is a checkbox of something that we do, but look at it as I got to go in a partnership because there's no perfect curriculum for anyone, but
That's
there are
right.
great curriculums that you can partner with and make sure we're in it together as it relates to the opportunities and access that that curriculum is going to provide for children. And then to my teachers that listen, okay, well, I'm leaning in, but what about my autonomy? You can be married to the content, but you don't have to be married to the context.
You
There goes,
don't.
there goes some autonomy for you right there.
There you
But
go.
stay
There you
married
go.
to that content,
That's right.
switch up the
Change the
context.
context around your kids.
But in the words of Ruding Sims Bishop, we want to make sure we get that windows, mirrors, and sliding glass doors experience. So don't get it to the point, I got a context because of this. Every child has to be seen and experienced. So don't get it limited because of that context
That's
and
right.
still expose them and think through that lens. But I love this curriculum decisions as power decisions.
All right. Power move number 2, interrogate the illusion of instructional choice. Examine where teacher autonomy is genuine and where it is constrained by systems design. Identify whether flexibility actually exists in practice. Create honest conversations about the relationship between autonomy and coherence.
I'm talking to my teachers out there. I agree you should have some autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm coming back to some data. Do you have the data to showcase your autonomy is impactful and effective? If
Perfect statement.
if 20% of your children are proficient, you may need to be quiet with autonomy and focus on the script that you're given.
Hello. Just try
And,
that.
and,
Just try it.
and now, when you get to, I tell my team all the time, I used to tell my teachers, when you get into 90 plus proficiency, you can actually tell me, Doc, we don't use the book. We go outside and eat ice cream at 12 o'clock every day. I'm gonna say, ice cream? Hey, and they show me, and they're actually learning to make it sense. Hey, I will meet
Ice
you at
cream.
12
I'll
o'clock
pay for the
with
ice cream. I'll
But
buy the ice cream.
so
That's right.
so what I tell every teacher out there, let's give the curricular or what your district has provided, let's give it a collective chance
Mm-hmm.
and then start to collectively let's make some decisions. Because a lot of times, again, I see people go do these decisions too soon and not realize, oh, I do have this. And then are there some high flyers? Yes, but majority of teachers need that structural foundation.
They do.
And
They do.
again, do you have the data to prove what you're doing is working? I like
And
that.
that's that. Yeah, and that's that last point. Those honest conversations, like you said. I was that teacher who I was highly skilled, right? And my students grew, and we used a combination of the curriculum and other things because I knew what the standards were. I knew the content. I was able to understand my students very deeply. So I was able to make the necessary adjustments. But you're right. We can't afford the wild, wild west out here.
Can we read this last sentence? Because some people may just be
Yes.
listening to this. I want to read this one out loud. And
Yes.
because I have this identity, and I really want everybody to hear this. Black boys, this is the impact for those who
Yeah.
are just listening.
Yeah.
The impact. Black boys experience environments where they are more likely to be understood, supported, and humanized rather than prematurely labeled or over disciplined. As a person who identifies as a black man now, I was a black boy. I need every educator to hear me and hear me good. Every child has genius level potential.
Everyone.
Every black
Everyone.
boy has genius level potential and they deserve a grade level experience, a rigorous experience, a high quality experience, an educational experience where they're seen, valued, and supported. But most importantly, beyond that, they deserve an experience where they get the academic things they need to be successful in life. I'm glad that a lot of folks, I love him. I do right by him. If he can't read, you don't
You're
love
not
him.
loving him.
If
If
he can't
he
do
can't
math, you don't love
listen,
him.
you
So
don't
we have
love
to,
him. You
and a
don't.
lot of times I was in a debate with a school person the other day. They're like, they label him bad or need discipline. I said, here's the thing. You're trying to confine his genius mind into this box and make him sit still for 8 hours or 6 hours. I would go crazy too. Are you engaging him? Are you giving him projects? Are you giving him activities? Are you making his brain think and showcase that creativity? Because I guarantee you, most of the discipline problems are the fact you want some child or any child to sit all day and just blah, 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 blah.
That's
Let
right.
them see themselves. And that's why I wrote the book, Chris Teaches Math.
I can't wait.
And you'll see how it's a little different.
How's different? How is different? That's huge. Power move, the last one. Reclaim instructional power through coherence. Now, align curriculum, assessment, and professional learning intentionally. You and I know it's going to happen from the end of this year until August, what's going to go on. Protect time for implementation support and instructional collaboration. Ensure students experience consistency in rigor and opportunity across classrooms. The impact: students experience stronger instructional consistency, while educators gain clearer support for meaningful instructional decision making.
And for teachers, yes, she's talking to you, but to my leaders, it is your job, your responsibility to make sure these things are happening in your environment. Absolutely. And get out of your office space where you only come see the discipline or you just pop in. Partner with your educators under your purview and make sure these things are happening. And what I say, don't tell them what to do. Partner with them and do it together.
Do it together. Model.
And get out of the fact, I got a title, I'm in the office. You can still, hey, a lot of people say, well, I can go back in the classroom and teach. Well, go show your
do that. You go do it then.
A full lesson.
You know what I wish? Here's what I wish. I wish that in every school district, that every person who touches academics did a rotation in school.
Oh no.
In whatever your area is, you need to do a rotation of a couple of weeks. You teach something to get these people out of quote unquote the central office mindset, get them in the buildings so they can actually see the impact of their central office decisions on a live child. They don't.
My direct report, we just created a new pre-K through 5 curriculum, humanizing mathematics. My direct report came to me one day and said, hey, Doc, on Fridays, can I go to the preschool and teach lessons? Any other organization, are you going to take time? Right. I say, yeah, when you doing it? And they, for the past over a year, they've been teaching every Friday consistently. And I know consistently because sometimes I ping them and I'm like, oh, they're at the school. And why is that important? One, they see firsthand what's working and what's not working with the curriculum. They're coming back and encouraging the team. So I have other team members now asking, hey, can I go teach a lesson in my local school? And that is because, again, one, as a leader, what am I doing to create this environment where they, one, can ask, and then two, they can go do it. And getting to your point, we need to be in it with educators and not I'm up here or I'm out here and telling educators what to do. I tell you, anything you heard me say on this show.
Oh, I know.
Call me and you can challenge me and I will fly to and I've done it. I will fly to your building and teach a class I need
today.
48 hours.
That's right.
So give me 48 hours.
Right. You're trying to get there. That's right.
But
that's huge.
We have to do that. Yeah.
We have to be able to do that. And that's so important. Dr. Chris, this has been such a fantastic conversation. It has been a delight and a joy to have you join Let's Talk Power Live. Again, a couple of things on the screen. Tap into our Messy Middle Leadership Development series is up. If you haven't already, if this show didn't get you to subscribe and like the channel, let me tell you what, go ahead, like, subscribe, share, get 2 folks, help us get to 200 subscribers. And next week, Dr. Chris, look who's coming up next week. And I know you know her.
Oh, I know Doc.
I know you know
that person.
I know you know her. Okay. Yep, Doc's coming up next week to continue this conversation about power and education and math. And so everyone, thank you so much for a wonderful session. That's it, a wrap for Let's Talk Power Live this week. Have a great week, everyone. Enjoy Memorial Day and remember the history. The history of Memorial Day started because formerly enslaved people wanted to take the time to celebrate the soldiers who fought for freedom and were not acknowledged. So when you celebrate Memorial Day this coming Monday, keep those people in mind. All right, everybody, have a great one.